Hey Barflies, welcome back to week 3 of our October special of pumpkin beers.
Man, this month is flying by.
It is. Tonight we've got
Seems like just 10 minutes ago we were doing this.
Post Road Pumpkin Ale. Man, it's almost Halloween, isn't it?
Halloweeny.
So,
I think he's cut off.
No such thing. How dare you?
let's see how Post Road did compared to Blue Point and Saranac.
Definitely better color to it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean a damn thing.
No, not at all.
There could be beer coloring. I would call it food coloring, but it's beer.
It's typically caramel coloring that they use.
Eat a dick. Well, that's just rude.
Alright, let's see if this is anything. Oh, this is Brooklyn Brewery.
Yes.
And it says ale brewed with pumpkin and spice. It does not say malt beverage like
This has a much better nose to it.
It does?
Well, since I have not inhaled it into my nose.
Just to put a straw in your nostril, it's much quicker.
And then you plug the one nostril and snort real hard.
It has more going on than the Blue Point.
But again,
Well,
it doesn't have a ton of pumpkin.
No, but at least it's present.
Yeah.
But again, it's for the person who is a little bit more familiar with the refined side of things. It's like, I can understand why they call it pumpkin ale, and I'm sure I know it's made of pumpkin. If I'm a housewife going, oh, it sounds like fun, I'll buy some pumpkin beer. We'll have it for Halloween. I'd be pissed, because again, you're not getting that pumpkin flavor out of it. But it's a pumpkin beer. It's made from pumpkin.
And it's really good.
The
I
sugar
really like this.
to ferment the yeast, or whatever it is, comes from the pumpkin.
This one is head and shoulders above the
Blue Point.
Blue Point,
Yes.
but it's still.
You kept it from last week?
I did, and I even kept this from 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's just gross.
They both are not anywhere near in comparison to the Saranac. The Saranac had a good pumpkin flavor, a good pumpkin spice flavor going on. This was just
Weird.
I mean, if it was standalone, like Link said, if it was not called pumpkin beer, it could have been okay on its own. This is decent. It's got a little bit of pumpkin flavor going on.
But again, I think the nose on this one is even better than the Saranac. I think there's a lot more complexity to it.
But I understand that.
Yeah.
But I still think, if I'm going into it knowing it's a pumpkin beer, I want to smell some pumpkin. Now this one had a lot more spice to it.
Yep.
But it also had more flavor.
Yeah.
It is by far a superior product to these other two.
Yep.
This one, the Post Road, good product, better by far than the Blue Point. The Blue Point is lagging way behind.
You know what though? I think that when we get down to scoring this, that I'm gonna be much higher in this than you are. I actually think that this is really nice, and it's really close to
it is very, very good beer. But again, I'm kind of looking at it from an outsider's point of view, because I get where you're coming from in this one, because it's a quality product.
And the flavors are very subtle and
not to say
delicate.
the Blue Point wasn't a quality product.
No, agreed. Like,
It just is not pumpkin like they advertise.
I want pumpkin.
Yep.
which this has, but again, it's not that in your face pumpkin.
Right.
I think
This doesn't, honestly, people, this doesn't have it either.
no, it really doesn't. I
It's
think
there, but it's not.
The pumpkin spice kicks this one up,
Yep.
is what it is.
Yep.
And if I was going to the store and I saw these three sitting next to each other, I'm gonna go for the fun bottle.
Yep.
I'm gonna label shop if I've never had them. I'm gonna go, this one's got a jack-o'-lantern, it's got a little handle. It's cool. I'm gonna look.
the packaging on this one is fairly awful, but I mean,
Well, that's not horrible.
the flavor of it is fantastic.
Honestly, though, if you look at the packaging, it's a pumpkin, and it says Post Road Pumpkin Ale.
Yeah.
Right, but it's not going to jump off
This-
the shelf like the jack-o'-lantern.
Yes.
But again, ironically, their logo is a jack-o'-lantern. They've kicked the pumpkin up a notch.
Yep.
They made it scary.
And you know what?
Like they did. Are you scared by that?
I did not grab it for our comparison, and I know you're not a huge fan of them, but Magic Cat, they did a pumpkin ale this year called Wilhelm Scream, and it's a living pumpkin face that's singing into an old like 1950s microphone,
Yeah.
screaming. Awesome logo.
That'd be cool.
I didn't see it today, so I didn't grab it.
I bought this honestly because it was $3, and it was a kind of a cool label as a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to scoring this guy, because I think it's going to be...
We're doing the post road.
Yep. Now, Big Daddy was a 7, an 8.5, or no, a 7.5, an 8.5, and a 7, a 1, a 4, and a 2. Where are you, Big Daddy?
Let me taste one more time. If I'm going as I may or may, should or should not do, if I'm going because of the pumpkin flavor, I'm going to go like a 4. But it is a very well-made beer.
Yes.
I'm giving this an 8. I really
And I
like
get
this a
that
lot.
too. I'm torn.
Flavor-wise, it doesn't have a ton of pumpkin, but what it does have, it's done really well. Like, it's that really kind of...
Really well.
Really well. Brother. It's really subtle. It's got great spice to it. It's not over the top. It adds to the beer. It really well made. I think this is an awesome bottle of beer.
It was.
You gave it an 8?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a very good bottle of beer. It was lacking just a little bit in the pumpkin department, which I'm looking for. If I go for a pumpkin beer, I'm going to be in at a 6 on this guy.
And again, I mean, if in fact, and this came from the man that makes this beer, the beer master, I don't know what his name is, in Brooklyn, he said they used to use pumpkin because it was prevalent and it was easily accessible back in the day, and in the Pilgrim times. And if that's true, we have no way of knowing if it really tasted like pumpkin. We don't know. And that's the thing. I mean, if it's supposed to taste like pumpkin, doesn't get a high score. If it's not supposed to, it still gets a pretty good score.
Right. And the Pilgrims might have done it as a way to raise the gravity on the beer as well. Using
Or
filler
because
to
sugar
right.
was
Using
available through pumpkin.
Yep,
That's
raise the gravity by throwing pumpkins in it, raises the alcohol content. That might have been why they used the pumpkins and not for flavor.
Real quick, I just want to point something out. We've been talking a lot about pumpkin this month, being is that it's October and we're tasting a bunch of pumpkin beer.
And it's what they do in the South.
True, but the flavor of pumpkin is really a delicate, subtle flavor.
It really is.
And I've had it again. Texture-wise, I'm not a huge fan of pumpkin pie. I like the flavor, but I don't like the texture of it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You don't like pumpkin pie?
He's not American.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it. I love apple pie, blueberry pie. I don't like pecan pie either.
Pecan.
Sorry, pecan. But anyway, back to the flavor of pumpkin. Pumpkin, when it's
pumpkin
done
pie?
well, is very, very subtle. Like a chestnut soup. Chestnut soup has a very subtle flavoring.
It does.
Pumpkin soup, very subtle flavoring.
Yep.
So you don't want that flavor to overpower the beer because it tastes like artificial flavoring.
But when you're eating a pumpkin soup, you want it to taste like pumpkin.
True, and this does. And again, this does. I'm not trying
This
to.
one does to an extent, but not enough to really kick that Saranac was there where it needed to be.
And I get that, but if let's say you're making wine out of, I don't know, cranberries. You don't want it to taste like cranberry sauce. You want it to taste like a fresh cranberry.
Right.
So
either way, it's going to be pretty bitter.
Yeah, it can be, but if it's done right, it's really, really well. But again, you don't want it to have that fake cranberry taste. Like
no, fake is bad.
So, and that's why I really, really like it.
I get that. So, have you tried this before, Barflies? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you give us a like, subscribe, share. Our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is all below. And we'll see you next week with the final episode of the October
That's so sad.
beers. So, all right, Barflies. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night. Cheers.
Bottoms up.